Hi. I did not realize I was live. I didn't get a chance to prop my phone up in a way that makes sense. Hi, I'm Robin, Robin Bags. I am a licensed esthetician and owner of Refresh by Robin Organic Skincare Studio here in Sarasota, Florida. Being a licensed esthetician, my last video came out horrible with the reception, but I did share a little bit about my history, how I used to have grade 4 cystic acne, which I still struggle with maintaining clear skin. And so I just wanted to give a few little pointers today, some things that anyone can do from anywhere to kind of help maintain their clear skin, things that have worked for me. And also, if I have some time, I would like to touch on the professional side of it and professionally what can be done and what some of your options are. So let me grab a chair here. I am at the studio today and am able to do this video. Let's see here. I think one thing I left out of my last video was the fact that on top of having grade 4 acne and dealing with it for all these years, when I was in my early 20s, I went to see a dermatologist and he got my... So I saw him and he said, well, you might just have to live with it because something happened and it didn't work out. And I remember leaving there in tears and just feeling so hopeless, which I did talk about a little bit the other day. And it's just such an awful feeling to feel so hopeless over your skin and to wake up each morning and you're like, the first thing you do is touch your face to see what new pimples popped up, or you look in the mirror and it does affect how you feel. There's no way around it. I mean, it affects how you feel. I think looking good and feeling good kind of go hand in hand. We feel good when we think we look good, or we look good when we feel good. I think they are connected. So anyway, with that being said, I do have some things that I just wanted to bring up that I think might be helpful, that are probably all over the internet at this point, I'm not sure. So I'll just start with like some very basic things that I definitely find to be helpful. The first thing I'll mention, and I also have this on my blog, which is on my website, there's like the 10 items, so I'm just going to kind of spitball here. But the first thing, to consider is, where is the acne? And that is where seeing a professional can be helpful. I personally am very well versed in face mapping, so I know which areas of the face correlate to different areas of the body. That could be a whole separate video. But a lot of times, especially with adults, you'll see it in here. And this is all hormonal, and then it kind of leads to stress. So they kind of usually will go hand in hand. So you'll see a lot of breakouts in this area. Teenagers, you might see more all over the face. Regardless of what type of acne, whether it's blackheads, whiteheads, cystic, I have had great success treating it and know that I can, but I just want to give some tips for people at home that they can, start doing. So, the first thing is, we never want to pick at our skin. And I know it is very, very hard for some people. And sometimes that is the cause of the acne alone, is picking at the skin. So, when we pick at something, especially cystic, because you feel it and you just want to get rid of it, but then you go to mess with it. One, your hands are probably dirty, so we just don't want to touch the face at all. Clean hands, don't touch the face, nothing on the face, hair off the face. Like, that is the idea here. And when we go to pick at our own skin, we're probably not washing our hands, and we're probably angry, and we're angry at our skin, and so that is just kind of making everything worse. And then we're also actually kind of pushing it deeper. So if it isn't ready to come out, which it probably isn't, and we go to pick or push, instead of pushing it out, we're pushing it down. And that is going down and spreading underneath, which is why, especially with cystic, a lot of times if you have, you'll notice you might have one, if you just start messing with it, on top of ripping the skin, and it'll take twice as long to heal. You'll also notice that sometimes there might be a couple more that pop up right next to it. It's because the bacteria from that one is spreading. So something that is huge is if we can just resist the urge to touch our face and squeeze our pimples and just do something else instead. Some clients, they like to, they've tried bracelets, that can be helpful. Stones, like different gemstones and crystals, and I actually like it myself these days. Like I'll pick a stone and I'll just kind of like hold it in my hands and go like this, and it really can be kind of soothing, and especially picking a stone that's made to maybe calm. So I think picking is kind of an anxious thing, and also more of a habit, and also something that just, it all ties in. You know, we feel badly, so we want to damage our skin and we want to be mean to our skin. But I really encourage anyone struggling to definitely seek professional help, someone that you trust. Have a consultation first, find out what they're going to do, and make sure that they're confident and able to help you. And then also, you know, try to not pick at your skin in the meantime. So, yeah, I would recommend that. I would also want to bring up being mindful of things such as changing our pillowcase. Typically, if you have acne, you're going to probably be oily, typically. Either way, there is a lot of stuff coming off on our pillowcase, maybe more so than the average person. So we need to be mindful of that, what we're laying our head on. You know, if we're breaking out on one side, is that the side we're sleeping on? There's so many things to look into, but that is very important. And also, what detergent are we using? What fabrics are we wearing if we're breaking out on the body? There's so much to consider here. I always recommend unscented detergent. I don't think it has to be any particular brand, but just fragrance-free. Fragrance-free everything is the way to go when you are breakout prone, or you're trying to clear your skin, or you currently have breakouts. So anything with fragrance is what we want to avoid. Learn to read labels and look for fragrance. My personal opinion, fragrance can stand for a million different things. It can be anything, and it's artificial, and it's just not good for our body or our skin. So especially as someone who has dealt with this and broken out, I say avoid fragrance at all costs in your home care and your skin care. And also when you're dealing with your sheets and your pillows, make sure you're washing those in the fragrance-free detergent, your clothes. Also your hair, being mindful. If you're breaking out along the scalp, it's probably because your hair is getting greasy, or you have a product that you're putting in your hair that's kind of getting on the scalp. So I always just kind of remind people, you know, well, do you wash your face before or after you wash your hair? Are you putting in a bunch of leave-in conditioners and gels and things that are sitting on the head and then touching your face while you sleep? So I always say, you know, if you can sleep with your hair back, I kind of tie mine up like this. Anything to get it off the face while I'm sleeping. And I don't put anything in it after I wash it. And I also do not wash my face before my hair, because I don't want all that product getting on my face after. And these are little things that kind of do add up to make a difference. Same thing with switching your towels and just using a washcloth. The other thing I want to add in there, well, first I'll actually go into makeup brushes. So keeping your makeup brushes clean. honestly, some of these cleansers that the makeup brushes, that are made to cleanse them can actually cause more harm than good because of all the gunk that is in them and the chemicals. So I just say soap and water, rinse them, rinse them more frequently and use them. Do not use your hands. Try not to use your hands. And really, makeup is a whole nother topic I'll talk about in a second, but just be gentle on our skin. I think when we are angry at our skin, and I feel the frustration of that, I get it. But instead, if we can just kind of take steps to work on clearing our skin and feel good about that, and look in the mirror and say something positive and start just loving our skin and being gentle with our skin, it will respond so much better. And I know this firsthand. When I'm anxious and I feel something here, I might just start kind of itching it before I know it. I've ripped my skin open and I have a whole breakout that will take weeks to heal. So now, I see a little breakout, I'm like, it's okay. So instead, I know what positive actions to take. Right now, I'm kind of talking about things not to do. So I would just, try to be gentle, which also goes in, ties in with what products you're using, making sure that the products are fragrance free, and making sure we're not overdoing it with these salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, the prescriptions. If your skin is getting red, flaky, dry, or irritated, or extra oily, something isn't right. So I would just take it easy. There's nothing wrong with maybe using a little acne spot treatment or like an acne clearing product, like in the form of a moisturizer or a serum, once or twice a day, depending on your skin. But everything else, I would just use like oily/combination products. Personally, and I'll say some of my recommendations here in a minute. But I take it pretty easy on my skin. I just use stuff that is for combination to oily skin, and I really kind of cut out a lot of the acne products. And instead, I just do other things. So some of the things I do, and one of the biggest things I see is when someone is broken out, their face is covered in makeup, and that was me. So I am not, I would never want to judge anybody for that. I understand that, of course, you're going to cover it, but at the same time, I think there is something very freeing when you are taking positive action and, loving your skin and just letting it breathe. For me, this was a process. It started out with not wearing makeup on my days off, and then just kind of using, and then gradually I went to using concealer only, so I could just kind of cover areas of concern but not cover my whole face. And I also I was told way back when I was in school to be mindful of the makeup that I am using. So I was told to use Jane Iredale. That is what I used for years. I found it to be a little drying. I moved on to Dr. Hashka. There are a lot of really good organic natural lines out there, but you just have to be careful. There was this one line I was actually using when I used to work at Ulta, and it looked good, no parabens, vegan. It sounded pretty pure. It was not bare minerals, but it sounded pretty pure, and I thought it was fine until I quit wearing it for 2 weeks, and my skin cleared up a lot. And then I put it on for 1 day, and by the end of the day, I had more breakouts forming. So if that's happening to you and you feel like throughout the day you're getting more breakouts, it's probably your makeup. So I've heard good things about bare minerals as well. I would just be extra mindful of what makeup you're using. Unfortunately, people like me and anyone watching this for themselves that is in the same position. We can't just go into a store like Ulta or Sephora and buy whatever they sell us or whatever is on the shelf. We have to really, really, really think about what makeup we're using, and hopefully we can get to the point where we don't have to rely on so much makeup because our skin will be much happier. And again, like I said, the same thing goes for products. Now, one thing that I will say has helped me a lot, and some things that we can start doing, is drinking hot water. When I was pregnant, my acne came back full force. I thought it was over. Well, it wasn't. Cystic, even on my back a little bit, and so I had to deal with that for 9 months as an esthetician. And at the time, I just didn't know any different. I just knew like salicylic acid and all these products that I wasn't allowed to use to help my acne. So I'm like, great, I can't do anything. And a friend of mine, whose grandma was a Chinese doctor, told me to drink hot water. So that is where this originated from. And all I know is it works. Almost like drinking tea, or, you know, you can microwave it. I always tell people, if you have a little downtime, just keep heating up water and drinking as much hot water as you can. So when I see a breakout, that is the first thing I do. Okay, it's time to start drinking some hot water. Don't touch it, drink hot water. Those are my two, like, okay, this is how we're gonna clear your skin up. So, and then maybe giving a little extra love in other ways, like some extra facial massage or things like that, which again will be like a whole nother video. But hot water has been wonderful for my cystic acne, and I think it has done wonders for my clients as well. I've actually since then figured out a few things about hot water and the skin. In Ayurveda, it actually ignites our digestive fire. So if we're having digestive issues that might be creating the acne, it helps kind of flush things out that way. And the other thing I've heard is that, you know, because our skin is the largest organ, it's the last one to get water. So it's like when we gulp water really quickly, it kind of just goes straight to the bladder. But if we sip it, it has a chance to actually hit all the organs and reach the skin. And when I did this, family would comment, oh, your skin looks so clear. What have you been doing? And then when I wasn't doing it, they just wouldn't say anything. So like other people were actually noticing a difference. And of course I noticed. And the cool thing about that is it's free. And within a couple days, you can see a difference. Like I just noticed this like clearness in here when I drink a lot of hot water the night before. So that is like the best thing anyone can do. In addition to that, I think professional treatments are really key, and proper skincare. And I know that's hard because there's so many products and options and information, and things sound good, but you know, I still stand by, we really, if you're going to trust someone with your skin and you reach that point of trusting them, then I think you should also trust them to guide you with your products. You know, I would be totally open to anyone bringing all their products in, their makeup, and I will go through them with them and tell them what I think, you know, just my honest opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right, or, you know, maybe it'll work for some people, but it's just, I feel like people now are more inclined to kind of just do their own research and order things off Amazon versus going to someone who has actually trained and has experience and has worked with these products and knows what they're talking about. Because some of these, you know, online articles are just written by normal people, so they might have good intentions, but they just might not have quite the same understanding as a licensed professional would have. So I'm not pushy with products, that's not who I am, but I do see a huge difference in my skin. And I see the difference in clients when they use my products and they see it, or not my products, but the products I use. And it helps the results, because if we're coming in for a facial and we're, working on something, it's kind of pointless if you're going to go home and pick at your skin and wear all this horrible makeup and not wash your face at night and not take care of it, and then come in, 6 weeks later, which is a little too long if you're trying to really work on something, especially acne. And then it's like starting from scratch, and it's very hard. But for the people who actually, take in what I have to offer and, trust me as their professional, we have achieved great results. And some clients actually reach the point where, like, I think they've gotten empowered enough and feel so good in their own skin that they're like, I got it, like, I'm gonna take a break. And I'm like, awesome, good for you. I'm so glad that we got there. So, I think everyone is different, whatever works for you. I know me personally, I still, like, skincare is one thing I do not skimp on. I am very frugal in many ways, but when it comes to my skincare, and it was hard in the beginning because I was just used to going to CVS or Walmart or wherever and buying a $10 cleanser, but I also was going through them a lot quicker. So I've kind of learned that a quality product is an investment, so some people, as they run out of things, will replace things, and that works well. So, you can kind of slowly do it, or you could just make a switch all at once. Samples are a great way to see if you like something. I'm a big fan of samples before, try before I buy. But it was hard in the beginning to get myself to spend that money. It was a lot of money to me, $50 for a cleanser versus $10. But that $50 cleanser lasted me a year. And this is, a couple years ago, obviously. But so it all evened out. It was like $3 a month. And my skin, like, responded really well when I started cleansing and toning and moisturizing at home. People with acne need to moisturize more than anyone. A lot of times our skin it's already probably getting stripped from cleansers with salicylic acid and certain ingredients because we think we're trying to clear our skin, so we want to do what's right, which means sometimes something more harsh, or that's what we think. And so we're like putting all these harsh things on our face, and then it's actually stripping our skin. So our skin is raw, it's irritated, it's red, it's all these things, and it's kind of counterproductive. So I'm just going to kind of go over some of the products that I use. And I use a line called Starflower Essentials. It's locally made here in Sarasota. And I do retail it here at my shop. I just added online product pickup, so someone can like schedule a product pickup. But I do recommend checking with me to make sure I have it first. If I don't have the product, I can get the product. And for people who are not local and want to order these products, you can order them from the Starflower website or read more about them. So I just use them and love them is really what I do. But so the grapefruit cream cleanser is for normal to oily to problem skin. This little bottle is about $30 and it does last quite a while. You do not need a lot, just a tiny pump. Disperse, add some water, wash, and then kind of wash away gently with a washcloth. So I use this one. You could really use any of their cleansers because they're a cream-based cleanser. They're so natural. They're not stripping. There is no fragrance. There's no harsh chemicals. So I don't have to worry about my skin getting damaged from this cleanser. It does not gentle cleanser that does its job, And then of course, after we cleanse, we always want to tone. I like the spray toners. The herbal spray for acne and rosacea. So you can mist this on after. A lot of people skip toning. Toning is actually a very important step. It helps balance our skin. It gets rid of any extra cleanser that may be left on, and it also preps the skin for moisturizer. So you're going to get more out of your moisturizer if you are toning, because you want to put your moisturizer on while the skin is still damp. So after that, it's kind of whatever moisturizer you'd like to use. And that is where this line is a very large line, and that is where samples come in, and I would give individual recommendations. Personally, I like the nutrient intensive moisturizers, the NIMs. They're lightweight and they just work really well for me. The Acne Clear can actually be a moisturizer or a spot treatment. I used to use that as my nighttime moisturizer or daytime, and kind of switch that around. But now I quit using that altogether, to be honest. And then something else that people can do, anyone could do, is honey is really great for any kind of irritations on the skin, blemishes, blackheads. So if anyone has some natural honey, or this particular honey, you can use honey to just put on as a nice gentle mask. And I would say limit the exfoliation. There's a lot of things that really could be kind of just used sparingly when it comes to these harsh things. I do like clay-based masks and like charcoal masks and things like that, as long as they're not like the little packet ones, and they're a reputable brand. I know Dermalogica has some good stuff. If you don't care about organic, and then Starflower has some wonderful stuff as well. So those are my two favorite lines for anyone who breaks out, and I've had great success with them. In fact, the Dermalogica overnight clearing gel was a miracle worker for my cystic breakouts when before I was into all the organic or new or cared. So that was a really good product. And with any products you get, if they're a quality product, a little really does go a long way. And I say, trust your esthetician, because he or she probably knows a lot more than the article you're reading written by Joe Schmo, who's just bored and wants to write an article about skincare because he likes it. Instead of like, this is their career and they've spent a lot of time to train and learn. I know for me, like, there are always different shows going on and events and webinars, and so I am always learning new things, and any esthetician that is really passionate is. So just something to think about. So I'm going to kind of walk over here and go over to the professional side of things. So professionally, there is a lot we can do. And I actually, let me see if I can find a place to put the phone. Okay. This is probably a better place to start, huh? So professionally, there is really a lot that someone can do to help treat acne. I had my other video about my story, how I saw an esthetician and she actually did peels on me years ago, and that worked well. It cleared my skin up. I don't go that route, but I do a lot of other things that work. So I think it really is just the discretion of the esthetician doing the service. One thing I do know when it comes to treating your acne is, I think making that step to decide to see someone is just just shifts something, and it just kind of opens that gateway to getting on the path to clear skin. I still see people because I have such bad skin, so even I can't judge my own skin properly. I will not extract my own skin. I like that touch and that relaxation and just the professionalism of seeing an esthetician. And I always pick up different things and learn new things. So I do encourage anyone that has acne to see a licensed esthetician, and get some help, because there's no reason why anyone should have to live with it. I should have never been told that I might just have to live with my grade 4 cystic acne, especially when I was in such a fragile state. And so what I'm saying today is neither do you, neither does anyone. No one has to live with acne, okay? There are way too many options and people and professionals out there that can treat your acne. It's finding what calls to you and then taking that step and getting you on the path to clear skin. That is the whole goal here. So when that pimple pops up, you can drink hot water and you can use your nice products, and you know what to do, what not to do. You might even know why you're breaking out based on the location. And then, you're feeling good. You're not feeling so helpless. So I still recommend doing those things, but in addition to that, I also say see a professional. Now, if someone sees me and, when we are trying to deal with these things, I know it's always like a time thing, a budget thing. It really depends on the person. There's no right or wrong. And you don't have to come just because we say, I recommend this. But at the same time, when dealing with acne, depending on the situation, which is why consultations are important, a lot of clients, and myself included when I was treating mine, had to come or have to come or would want to come every 2 weeks in the beginning. That way we can get in there, we can clear things out, treat it, and then before it has a chance to come back too bad, we're treating it again. And then eventually it will really get to a place where you can come less often because your skin is healing, you're healing, everything is going how it should be. I'm trying to think. One thing I love to use is high frequency. So this right here, you put a little, this is the zapper one. So you put one of those in, and then you go over the skin, and it actually uses argon and neon gas, depending on what someone needs. So you can put that over the skin, particularly after extraction. Just zaps everything. There is no downtime, and the gas just kills any bacteria. It's antibacterial and all that good stuff. So it's really, really good at just clearing things. That is something I will just include during any facial if needed, to really help clear it. Blackheads need to be extracted by So we want to prep the skin and loosen everything up, and then if it comes out, it comes out, but there is a method to it. And then afterward, we can do the high frequency, and just having all these tools and these products at your disposal as a professional, along with the knowledge and everything else, it really gives a great result. Something else I use is an Ayurveda beauty tool called a Kanza wand. It's amazing. It actually will draw acidity out of the skin. So when the skin is having an excess of oil, an excess of something, excess of, acne, then this wand will actually just balance the skin and open up these acupressure points, and it really helps clear the skin up. So there's a lot of things we can do with that, and facial massage to kind of break it up. I'll make another video on that. But I have so many products, and I have LED light therapy and microdermabrasion. So between the products, the tools, the training, it just makes sense to see a professional. And that's why I don't do my own facials, because I couldn't possibly give myself the same experience. So I might do a little something, like a little home mask, but I still leave it to the professionals. So I do, yeah, that's just, you know, kind of how I operate, and I do recommend that. And I think that we can get to a place of feeling good about our skin. We just need a little guidance sometimes. So it all seems to come full circle when people come to me. They come to me at the right time, they're ready, they're willing, and that is when we see the results. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to say. This video is so much longer than I wanted it to be, and I feel super scattered. So hopefully my channel will get better in time. But I think I kind of brought up some of the main points here, and hopefully some of it will resonate with someone. The last thing I'll just say is, you know, internally, in addition to the hot water, there are a few things we can do. We could take probiotics. Those are great for the skin, keeping that healthy bacteria. There's also a homeopathic medicine that I've tried from Whole Foods. It was like $7, and I don't use it all the time, but every now and then. And I think that really helped. You know, if people are into essential oils, there's things you can do there, which I'm not going to make a recommendation right now. But there are a lot of things that we could be doing. I've actually, you know, taken some supplements for inflammation, and that has been helpful. So there really are a lot of options. Fish oil is really good if your skin is oily. So just, you know, focusing on the inside and the outside is key. So anyway, have a great day. Good luck to everyone. If you are local, you can visit my website, www.refreshbyrobin.com. And you can look at my menu, and if you have any questions, please reach out. I do a complimentary consultation, and I would love to have more people in my treatment room that want to clear their skin, or maybe your kids do, or so yeah, so have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment. If anyone wants me to help further or go more in depth on something. This video was way longer than I wanted it to be, but hopefully it is helpful stuff.